Mm-hmm.
I've done every diet you could ever think of as a 10-year-old. Like, it's sick. I can't imagine having Instagram as a 10-year-old.
That's such a
It's
great.
really, really crazy.
Yeah.
It's so beneficial for some things, but wow, could you go down a rabbit hole?
Mm-hmm. Hey y'all, DFoss here. My goal with this Limitless Theory 360 podcast is to connect you with the very people that have positively impacted my life and will continue to impact thousands of others by providing education-based and actionable techniques to creating a limitless perspective on life. So my guest today is a registered dietitian, a business partner of mine, a mentor of mine, someone that I always ask questions to. I hit her up very randomly, and she's always willing to answer. She's fun. She's super exciting, and she is also the creator, the owner of Heal Thyself Nutrition. Amanda Rigby, what's up? How we doing?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Um, so we were just having a bunch of good conversations, and I was like, "Why are we wasting time? We should just get to this." Um, so Amanda does a lot of different things, and I've learned a lot from her in terms of like limitless theory and how to build a brand and things of that nature. Um, Amanda, can you kind of give everyone a background on how at 26 you own your own practice and like what that looks like?
Sure. I know, I'm like, where do I start? Well, I think I am able to own a practice. So I own a business practice. I'm a registered dietitian. And I opened my practice like maybe 2 years ago now, I guess.
Mhm.
And I think the only reason I was able to at such a young age was like, besides the internal motivation of not wanting to um, succumb to the healthcare barriers that
Yeah.
my profession is bound to. But
Nicely put.
yeah, did I say that? Did it come out? No, but so like obviously that's like the intrinsic motivator, but I like physically, financially couldn't have done it if I didn't start my entrepreneurial journey so early.
Mm-hmm.
Its own whirlwind of a story, but
Yeah. How
at
old were you again?
yeah, 18. Well, I was 17, but I legally couldn't open a
Yeah.
business until I turned 18. So
True.
as soon as I turned 18, um, I opened my own franchise business, which helped me um, pay my way through my 8 years of college. So I came out with no student loans, which was huge also because I don't know how you would open anything. I don't know how you move out of your house nowadays.
Yeah,
So
seriously.
that was really like the beginning for me, and also like the entrepreneurial journey that I evolved into.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I even knew what the word was when I was 17, and now it's like my identity. So
Yeah.
I don't think I would have been able to open a practice this early, but no looking back now. I jumped and then I'm just building my parachute on the way. It's something. It's
You're
great, but
doing,
it's something.
yeah, but you're doing a damn good job of it. That's kind of why, like, every time I have random questions like that, I'm like, who would know the answer to this? I'm
I
like,
feel like I've sped through life really quickly, so I
"Mm,
do. Yeah, like I've done all the stumbling, so now I just get to tell you like the shortcut part.
yeah, yeah,
You're like, where do I go for this? And I'm like, oh God, like in my head, I'm like, don't do.
yeah.
Like, but
What?
I also like heavily invest in mentors, and that's how I
Mhm.
jumped so fast too, because they did the same path for me.
So now you've had mentors obviously through Shop and Market America and the Unfranchise. You outsource mentors outside of that as well, or is it specifically in your field, or is it just in the world of marketing and building a brand?
I need like a million. No, I did. The first thing I did, which was the best move I ever made, was hire a business mentor to build a practice. So
Okay.
she was a dietitian like 20 something years and specializes in practice like opening. So that was the best thing I ever did because that helped me shortcut like insurance or not and payment formals and website, like what do you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And when I finished with her, so I spent a year with her. And then as soon as I was done with her, I moved into my business coach now, who I also outsource, named James. He's in California. And now he does all like systems and making things work, you know, while we're sleeping. And
Yeah.
so it was a good balance,
Literally.
things like that. And mindset. He's my big mindset guy. He keeps me
That's
very tech, which
that's huge.
I think is the part that we forget about in training and even like building anything.
Yeah. Or even with clientele, like when you're working with, I'm gonna take these off. When you're working with like clients,
Yeah.
the biggest thing you have to change is their mindset around food.
I literally say like I think I went to school for therapy now. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I never talk about food. Like this is I mean it's so true though because like health in general, there's always some underlying root, right, of everything, and
Exactly.
most of the time it's us in the way. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it is what's going on in the mind from what you nurtured and natured it with as a youngin. Which we're still both really young.
I know.
But
I feel like a grandma. I call
yeah,
myself a grandma, so it's okay.
Amanda got on. She was yawning. She was like,
I'm like, here we
"I'm
go.
ready for bed. Wake up."
You gotta go to sleep nice and early. Start the wind down process. You know,
Yeah.
wine keyword. Just kidding.
Speaking of wine, we had a wine and wellness Wednesday last night. Uh,
Uh,
it was
oh,
our
last night
second
you
one.
had another one.
Yeah, we had a second
Oh,
one last
fun.
night. It was cool. We went over low glycemic impact eating and reading labels.
Love it.
There was a lot of like jaw dropping. They were like,
Know what that is? Do they have to go to wine and wellness to see?
yeah, yeah. It's crazy that there's a lot of information out there that people have no idea about.
I find that I blow people's minds very easily with those two topics. Like
Yeah.
that I really like. I was saying to one of my patients the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, once you know how to read this label, like you don't need me anymore. You know, and I want people to not need me anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we have to empower people to just sift through all of the noise out there in the nutrition world. And God, once you can decipher a food label, I feel like you can hang.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If eh, there's one thing that you should be able to do, it's that. And then the other thing is that you need to realize most of your food shouldn't have a label on it. And then from there, I think it comes down to just being comfortable with sticking to that. But I always love too about like TLS is that it's predicated on those two foundations.
Right.
Which is huge. And some of the people that couldn't come last night were mad. They were like, that's what I need help with the most.
No, those are my two favorite classes to teach.
Mm. So now when you do, because I know you do a lot of like B2B type of stuff now, even, to corporate kind of entities as well. Uh, what are you primarily teaching there? Is
Um,
it?
I do. I mean, I guess it depends on the place. I have like my own 8-week little framework that I'll come into like a corporate wellness setting and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to cover.
Mm-hmm.
I end up, put me in front of anybody and then we end up like tangent on
Yeah.
all different areas, but I do come in with a game plan. But it definitely, I mean, we absolutely have to cover like low glycemic eating, reading labels, like of course, me with the gut. So we do a lot of that. We do a lot of toxins and, what to look for and what questions to ask your doctor and how to advocate for yourself in the healthcare industry and, what symptoms to be aware of and root cause of a lot of things. I try to put all of that into the most understandable, which it really does come across well. People really take away a lot. But then there's things like last week I was at a college, so I take
I saw that.
that. I've done firefighters, so
That's
they
cool.
never sleep, and then stress and stuff. So I had to, kind of tailor it a little bit.
Towards that.
Yeah.
Less diet stuff and more so like.
Yeah, I mean, most of the firefight, we're just talking about stress.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That was a big thing. So we the first wine and wellness we did was the 5 pillars of health, starting with sleeping right, eating right, exercising, reducing stress, and then supplementing to fill in the cracks. Because like some people have to work in order to make a living and they don't get to sleep as much or on more of a regular schedule. Okay, so you're supplementing in the cracks of not getting enough sleep. Some people are allergic to certain foods. Okay, you're supplementing in the allergicness to that food. Some people have, neurological issues and have more stress or higher stress paying jobs and things of that nature. That's where you need to supplement.
We just have to change the dialogue and
Yeah.
people to know that like supplementation today is a necessity that we've disguised as this luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Every person, like you're saying, we all come from different places. So there's no one size fits all, but we need to figure out what fits for the person. And then, like you said, fill in those gaps with like targeted nutraceuticals. So I think we just always downplay it. There's so much stuff out there though, so it gets a little messy. Like, again, noisy, I call it. So I'm excited that like to finally be in a position where, like I can make the right recommendations and that people listen to what I recommend in that area, and I can kind of silence a lot of the noise in other places finally.
Which is huge.
On a bigger scale and do it even louder.
Yeah. So it's a lot of like N=1, and I think that's in the fitness industry. It's the same concept, and people don't want to realize that because everyone wants that like group setting of, oh, it feels good to work out in a group and just more sweat the more healthy I am, right? I mean, you're obviously learning and seeing that firsthand with Sam, and he's doing a great job of teaching all that stuff. And working on the nervous system with RPR and things of that nature too. But I want to get into a little bit of like what your daily kind of regimen and agenda looks like in terms of like your supplements, your diet, and your exercise. Those
Okay.
three major things.
Okay, I can do that part.
Okay.
I'm like,
yeah.
that's what I have.
Yeah, you're like, that's a loaded question.
I have to be every other minute.
No.
Okay. You want to see my Google Calendar? It's crazy. Okay. So, I mean, I guess I'm going to start like a little bit at nighttime to move into the day.
I love that. Can you explain to me why?
Yeah. It's really big for me to have that unwind 2 hours before I'm going to actually sleep. Okay. With all the, blue light and the phones and the iPads and who knows what you're bringing into the bedroom with you. We have a rule. No, none of that in the room. We don't have TV anymore, which was like so crazy for me. It was like a thing that I just said and I did not mean at all, but I was like, it just like I said it because I knew I should. Like I could say like, oh, I should probably eat kale right now. Like, I don't want it, but like I probably should.
And then the accountability partner jumps out of left field and it's like, yeah, let's eat kale. And you're like,
here you go. And I'm like, I didn't mean it. And I said to Sam, I was like, okay, when we move, no more TV in the room, and it didn't go, and now we don't have it, which is great. I mean, I've never slept better, but so the unwind time is really important. That kind of like starts my next day because I will be, I mean, like anybody, you'll be really messed up if we don't sleep right. I think in one of my talks, I say some stat like, oh God, I'm going to butcher it now. Don't quote me on it, but like one night of poor sleep is like 6 months of eating crappy, like what it does to the body. So it's, I mean, and how many days do you think we string together of just like mismatched poor sleep, and people wonder why they get sick and stay sick? I mean,
yeah, I mean,
like sleep to me is really the area I had to focus on because like I can basically like get on a supplement regimen. Like I can get my butt to the gym, I can prep food, but like sleep was it felt the most out of control thing, I guess. So
I
I
would say I'm in that position right now.
figure out how to
And
like
what's
dial it.
funny, yeah, what's funny is I asked everyone what they took from the last Wine and Wellness last night, and the underlying tone for every single one was sleep. One person said, I didn't use my phone for 30 minutes before I went to sleep. Another one said, I put on meditation music to help me fall asleep. Third one said that uh, they put like essential oils diffuser,
Yep.
and that helped them just kind of calm down more. And it was like, wow, so we talked about all that stuff, and 4 people out of the, I want to say 5 or 6 that returned from the first one all said that it was sleep related, and I was like, that's huge.
It feels like that area, like it's obviously so unsexy to talk about sleep, like, but it does feel like that one that's the most out of control, I feel, or the most like misregulated.
Taken for granted almost.
Yes, ignored or taken for granted, or just underplayed for sure. So okay, the unwind time is really important. So like right now I have this light on, I have the computer, so like I'm really gonna have to really like get dark, because I'm just like learning more about, I mean, everything as I go along, but like the circadian rhythm and how we can really control it. So and so that will lead me to, I guess, sleeping. So I sleep with earplugs, an eye mask, essential oils, complete darkness, blackout curtains. Yeah, you really want like darkness and silence to help the circadian rhythm like not be thrown off. And then the first thing in the morning, you want to get direct sunlight to like, turn the clock on, because by now, like I should be tired because it's pitch black out and I was out when the sun was out, so your body is regulated enough that it should be ready to start like slowing down. And it helps with like melatonin production because that takes like about 2 hours to boost. So that's why I really take that 2 hour time. Not that I don't watch TV, but which I do because that's kind of how I want to. But I also do try to like read and put like the setting on the TV for the blue thing and all that stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, I do that with my phone.
Yeah, no phone for sure, because I had to get over the fact that like, what is that important at 9 o'clock at night? Like I'm not an MD who has patients in the hospital, so they can wait until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So nothing is that important. So the phone stays outside. Just try to chill. Okay, so then I wake up. I take my isotonics, nutraceuticals. I probably take about 4 of them: antioxidant, vitamin D, a B vitamin, multi.
Okay. Can I go back 1 second?
Yes. Did I wake up yet?
What do you suggest for people that wake up before the sun comes up? Like I have to wake up at 4:45 or 5 o'clock, and I finish with a client before the sun even comes out.
Yeah. Try to get it. Like it's literally that vitamin D is that
So just
precursor.
walk outside after that. Yeah.
Try to get it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's more so that importance of it, like actually getting into you, which is so silly. But
Yeah.
the vitamin D thing is such underrated. While we have it, because it's about to be dark for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're in Florida, you sucker.
Yeah, I was gonna try to let you bypass that. I was like,
no. I'm like, yeah, it's pitch black 24/7 here. So. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna need like a red light thing.
That's huge. So, and I remember reading that years and years ago when I was actually on the bus to a basketball game for college, and I remember reading. I was like, it's like people in New England really need to supplement vitamin D because.
Oh my gosh! If
Especially,
everything in mine is not on it, they're in trouble with me.
all right. Case in point, people, get your sunlight and get your vitamin D.
No, we have to supplement with it. We don't get it, and the only place you can get it is over there.
Yeah, and people don't realize what it takes to absorb the vitamin D. and people also don't
what it
understand
does.
exactly. They don't understand that it actually acts more like a hormone in the body than just a vitamin that gets
Yeah.
taken in and excreted very
Right. Well,
quickly.
I tell all my patients, so there's a vitamin D receptor on every single cell in the body.
Hmm.
So if you are feeling like tired, if your joints ache, if your digestion is bad, like every inch of you is waiting for vitamin D. And I have people coming to me with like 18. So like 60 to 80 is good. So
Yeah.
18 and 7. I'm like, no wonder. Like, so as soon as we get that level up, the whole world changes for them.
Yeah.
So the
Flipped
very
upside down.
un unpopular, not talked about enough thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, so um,
Okay, so I've taken
so you
my
wake up, you get your vitamins in.
I'm gonna make some juice. I'm gonna juice some celery, cucumber, ginger, half of a Granny Smith apple, get my hydration on. Probably got a Peloton. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I just like it. It wakes me up. I am
Yeah.
sweaty after that thing. And cause right now, like my schedule's been really crazy, so that's like the most I've been getting in. Today I got into the gym. But I do like I have weights for the Peloton, so I'm trying. But so at least I can get my little time in. But I
Yeah.
love it. I'm gonna make breakfast, something protein, lots of veggies.
Okay.
Easiest for me to just like saute every veggie in the fridge. Like I just put a pan on and I just take everything out of the fridge, like mushrooms, broccoli, asparagus, squashes, whatever, spinach, like throw it in a pan. Um, I mean, sweet potato, that's kind of what I do. Top with avocado,
Nice.
Primal Kitchen, spicy mayo. So good.
There
Call
you
it a
go.
day.
Primal Kitchen.
Primal Kitchen.
I gotta get on that, and you've been talking about it forever.
I can't believe you haven't had it yet. I mean,
I know.
I
I
have
know.
I save you money. It's the best brand on the planet. I mean, I wish they paid me for this, but
Can I put that code in here?
yeah. So the code is heal thyself, all one word, help yourself, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
I think it's 10% off their website.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's the best. So it's all avocado oil based products. So there's no canola, no soybean, no bad oils, but also obviously gluten free, dairy free, soy free, no added sugar. So they have mayos, dressings. They just came out with pasta sauces. I'm so excited about like Alfredo. I'm pumped.
Oh no.
Yes.
Really? Does it
No
have
sugar,
dairy in
no
it?
soy, no dairy, nothing. Like
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know what it's gonna taste like, but everything tastes like their ranch is so good.
You gotta.
I'm telling you.
This is why I didn't want to do it, because now I'm just gonna buy every
Oh
single
no,
one
I
of
know. We haven't even got past breakfast, and your shopping cart's full.
them. One more question. Can you go into the oils and why we need to stay away from
My
certain oils?
favorite topic ever. Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's another one that people aren't educated about, and the food industry has done a good job of teaching us the wrong way. So, I mean, perfect example: vegetable oil. People are like, "Oh, it's a vegetable.
Vegetable.
Perfect. Run, run." We
Get
do
out
not
of there.
want vegetable oils. We do not want canola oils. We do not want soybean oils. Ugh, no, get rid of them. Why? Mainly because they're, besides being like super GMO'd, but they have a really not high smoke point, and that's like on a biochemical level, the temperature at which the oil will break down and become rancid or turn into a trans fat. Trans
Mhm.
fats are illegal in every other country except ours. So our products are full of these oils that can become trans fats, and they're just toxic, just crappy. They're so cheap, they're put in everything. So look out for those words, definitely for oils. Definitely don't cook with them. It's hard to find a lot of like packaged products without those three: canola, soybean, and vegetable, but
You
they're
know
out
what
there.
my favorite is?
Yes.
The sunflower and or safflower
I
oil.
love when they say and or. It's like, how
Yeah,
do you
it's
not
like,
know which one you put in?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Either one could have got in there.
It was just bright yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I run right now.
One more thing too. If you guys don't know, for anybody who's listening, I'm sure Amanda, you are probably rancid about this. The
Rancid.
whole, yeah, you're rancid about it.
So the oils.
It made sense. It flowed. Now it's going to be digestible for them, you know?
Yep.
Uh,
Good word.
the Amazon situation that's going on right now.
Okay. Oh, wait. I'll tell you what oils to cook with. Avocado, coconut.
Yes.
Okay. And then
Just
top with olive oil.
top with olive oil.
Don't
We don't want to put olive oil at high heat.
Yep.
Um,
On Amazon. What's going on?
So with the Amazon, we know that most of that land is used for cattle ranching and for palm oils.
I thought you meant the website. Huh?
No.
That's why I was like, you're shifting gears. Let me talk about the oils.
No. We're talking about the oil still. So all of these major food industry companies they've been destroying the Amazon. Whether or not they are connected to what's going on right now, up in the air. Yeah, who was looking? Sunflower and or safflower, who knows? But basically, the way that they're getting such cheap oils into all these packaged foods is through the destruction of the Amazon. It's the same way that they're getting extremely cheap, bad quality meat into the country as well, and dairy products, cheeses and milks, is all because they're outsourcing and putting farms and killing trees down there, and they're basically taking all of that stuff and they're importing it from Brazil. And if you haven't realized, in the last 20 years, Brazil is one of the largest emerging economies in the world because of the fact that they've decided to.
Remember that time I was so excited to like live forever?
Mm.
And now I'm kind of scared.
Yeah. So just beware, like when you're buying products that have this stuff in them, you are condoning to the fact that they keep doing things like that to the Amazon.
So our grocery dollars, right?
Yes, absolutely. The consumer drives the market. They can't sell it if nobody's going to buy it. But if they know people are buying it, then it's easy to sell and continue doing what they're doing. So cook with avocado and coconut oil and top with olive oil. And we're only on breakfast, people. So get ready.
I got long days, people. Yeah, okay. What else? I mean, I've already worked out, took my stuff, breakfast. Yeah. I usually have like a little snack in between, something protein, something fiber. I always have protein and fiber every time I eat to keep my blood sugars stable, keep me longer. That's like the mantra, you know. Yeah, I mean, hopefully I could get into the gym, do some weightlifting.
Do you have a specific like amount of days that you're going for?
I shoot for 4. I obviously am, well, not obvious, sorry, your people don't know me. Obvious to you. I date a professional strongman, so we lift very heavy in this household, safely, of course.
Yeah. And he's training a lot. He trains a lot of younger athletes, right?
Yeah, he trains a lot of athletes. He's a strength and conditioning coach.
Mm-hmm. He has a CSCS. Yeah. Does he have, is he with like physical therapy or athletic training? Or
physical therapist that he works with and like shares the people.
Okay.
Which is helpful. Because he has the advanced like training with the back and the nervous system stuff. So
RPR.
We'll like circle to kind of move somebody through. So
I'm gonna if it's cool, put his information in here too, so everyone can go check him out. Yeah.
You guys are RPR together. Love it.
Yeah, I need to look into RPR.
I don't know how it's gone over your head, but you have a lot.
It hasn't. It's been sitting in front of my face.
I know, like how
it hasn't gone over my head. It's just been sitting.
Awesome. Yeah.
I haven't come across anything down here, especially.
Oh, I gotta look because they're all over. I know they're in South Carolina right now or something like that, but
Yeah.
they do them all over the place. So, and they have an online course right now, which is cool for people who can't get there.
See this kind of stuff that I didn't know. Maybe that one got over my head.
Hey, where's my affiliate link, RPR?
Yeah.
Affiliate marketing people.
You gotta
Your
get,
referrals,
yes,
right? One to
give
one.
credit. You gotta give credit where credit's due.
I love it.
All right, so are you big on 1 to 2 meals, 2 to 3, snacking?
I
What?
do eat pretty regularly.
Okay.
I um I don't think I would do great fasting with history of like disordered eating. Um,
Okay.
and like women tend to not do as good as men
That's
with
good.
fasting. So I'm
Yep.
not there ready to try it yet mentally. But I do, most of my patients do well eating like smaller frequent meals throughout the day. Again, protein and fiber each time is pretty much the basic,
Yeah.
like the base level foundation. Yeah,
So are
crazy.
you, you've obviously looked into a lot of the, like the benefits of fasting and everything like that. Can
Oh,
you,
it's so real for sure.
oh yeah, and people look at me like I'm crazy. Like, why are you not eating? And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
a lot. I mean, yeah, it's a cultural shift that I think
Mhm.
we're in because it is gaining a lot of traction as people are seeing the benefits of it, and as the literature is finally coming out because it takes 50
For
years for
sure.
anything to finally be published. So
Yeah.
we've known about it for a while. It's just now Instagram's known about it. So
Yeah. And
um,
I think that's a big thing too, is like when you're learning about these things through a social media platform, you have to be careful. Don't just, I mean, at first it was, it was the fasting, it was
keto.
intermittent fasting, then it was keto, then it was paleo,
Yeah.
and like it's just jumping around and around and around, and these things
I could
take
not be
off
an
and stuff.
average consumer right now. I
No,
I would not do good.
no,
I
I
didn't
would,
do good before this education.
hmm
I've done every diet you could ever think of as a 10-year-old. Like it's sick. I can't imagine having Instagram as a 10-year-old.
that's such a
It's
great point.
really, really crazy.
Yeah.
It's so beneficial for some things, but wow, could you go down a rabbit hole?
hmm
I'm
And
very
there's plenty of people who are. But then on the other hand, right, there's plenty of people like yourself who are putting out great information.
I know, but you know what sells is that fast thing, right?
Yeah,
Fast thing with like the cute name. I can't
yeah,
name any of my processes in a cute form, which
yeah.
is why I struggle. Like, I'm like, why don't I have 1 million followers? I'm like, oh, because talking about intestinal permeability is so boring.
And most people can't say those two words together.
So, like,
Never mind. Yeah, never mind,
yeah,
look at it and think it's cute or sexy.
that once anyone figures out, I'll give you like royalties if you can like name something for me. Like keto. Like it's so cool to say keto. Like
Mm.
keto, are you keto? Like it's like a noun
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
A
Are you,
verb. I
are,
don't know how
are
you.
you a keto? Are you a keto? And now you have people doing like the strictly meat diet.
We just it's exhausting. Our job is never done. I
No, 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 no.
the secure jobs ever. They are tiring. I will tell you.
No, and it's a good problem to have. The best thing, one of the best feelings, and I'm sure you understand this too, is like being able to give someone a piece of knowledge, and all of a sudden it like clicks in their head, and they are genuinely happy. They genuinely understand what you were talking about and how to apply it, and then you see them apply it, and like
Life changes. Yeah.
I had people last night tell me that it helped, like what they did with their sleep. I was ecstatic. I was like, what the, that's
That's quality of life stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, to get people like, I mean, a lot of my clientele ends up being older. So to get them like, I don't know, back on the floor with their grandkids and like able to just little things that
Hmm.
I don't know that we like feel that hurt yet until you're actually sick and like struggling. But for the people that do that live with a chronic disease like day to day and wake up miserable,
Yeah.
to be able to like put that take that off the table. Now it's like their whole life doesn't revolve around this diagnosis and they can
Mhm.
like look around and do other things. Like, you know.
I love Dr. Zambrowski's quote about your diagnosis is not your destiny.
Yeah. I
It's
like that.
I'm I think I'm like 130 pages into his book.
So
It's
good.
so
Such
dense with information.
I know.
I'm gonna put a link to that by the way too.
Yes, such a great book. It's called Rebuilt.
Mm-hmm.
One of our colleagues. Oh God, what a good story. But yeah, wow, that's like a Bible. All you need is that book.
Yeah.
Open it.
um, it's crazy. I mean that, and along with the TLS guide is like
You know
it's
that's
insane.
the vibe.
Yeah, no,
I
that
was so like not mad when it came out, but I was like, how much money have I spent in nutrition school? And I gotta pay $20 for this book and it has the whole thing in it.
it has everything.
$20. I'm so mad. I paid, oh God, I don't want to think about how much money I spent on books.
It's so easy to read that and comprehend it.
Yep.
And then,
It's a
I mean, the fact that it has affirmations and daily goals, like
because
it,
what did we start this whole conversation with?
it's mindset. It's all
Everything
mindset.
goes back to it.
And that's what I love. Like that's what I love about it. And I mean, I don't think I really knew you when I first got introduced to all of this.
I don't
Yeah, I don't know. But like I wish you could have met me at
not this
18.
week.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I'm talking about the old me too. Like when I was 18, uh graduating high school, I had zero concept about any of this stuff. I
Funny.
had yeah, like it was just total 360. Changed my mindset, changed my perspective on what I want to do for the rest of my life, how I want to eat,
What
how
do
to
you feel like
train for basketball.
that shifted your mindset? Like what finally clicked for you?
For me, I actually tell this to people all the time. Um, I went to this random place with a bunch of people that I didn't know, and for the first time ever, people were like, "Hey, like, where do you want to be in 5 years? What are your goals?" And I was like, I don't know. Nobody's ever asked me. Like, I've never thought of that. Like, I want to be cool. I want to have money.
I want a house. I
Um,
want cars. Yeah.
yeah, like, I mean, and I was never like I want nice, super nice cars. After like high school, when I was a
You
kid,
want to see
definitely.
my Tesla order form is printed out on my desk all the
Ooh,
time.
nice. That's huge.
I mean, I like things, but now I need my Tesla too.
Congrats. um, but yeah, like long story short, I would have never made something like this thing right here. This is a goal board, vision board. Like I would have never made anything like that had I not got introduced to a bunch of people who were like, "Hey, what books are you reading? Oh, you should check this one out. Have you heard of this guy? He's great." You know, teaching you just how to actually care about what's going to happen to you and not just be like,
That's literally my story. That's the
yeah,
same story.
it's crazy. I
But
think
that's
that's why we've
yeah,
we've we've connected on just like a
right.
didn't it wasn't like take a while to get to know each other. It's like what's up, like hey.
Once that clicks for people, it's a different level of living when you are able to it's a higher level of
Mhm.
thinking and thought and like I mean people they call it manifestation whatever but like once you're on that level you're the vibe only attracts people like that because you don't have time to deal with people who it doesn't match with.
Quite literally.
It really, I mean, it sets the pace for it's kind of scary. Like I've probably scared off a lot of suitors, sorry. But like if you know, it's just a different conversation after that clicks for you.
And it has been ever since. And I can see, especially since I've moved down here, where I've totally taken on a new kind of
Yeah.
perception of myself and perception of everyone that I talked to and talked to or had relationships with in the past. And it's just completely different view of the world and perspective. And that's my goal with this, is to try to bring more perspective from as many different backgrounds and stories as possible.
Send the vibe out, see what it
Yeah,
brings back.
your vibe attracts your tribe. Speaking of manifestation too, Mark and I uh, both got told to watch The Secret on Netflix.
Have you gotten this far without it?
I don't know.
Oh, I have like
Maybe
7
just because
copies
it's all the people.
right there. Yeah, I mean, I guess you skipped. It was
Yeah,
like how
I
many
skipped it. I just talked to the
that's
real people.
because we were. I have 7 copies right on my shelf because I hand them out to people, like
Really?
a psychopath. Like if they're in a grocery store, like I'm almost like a good. I won't name anybody in particular, like a religious thing that like tries to get you in the store. That's
Yeah.
me with The Secret.
Wow.
The book, you gotta own the book, like because the quotes, but the movie's really good.
Yeah. So I got like 10 minutes into the
That's what you're
documentary.
winding down to.
I have to watch it. I'm
That's
slacking.
Netflix.
I know.
No excuse.
I priorities. I don't feel like I need
Have
it.
a light before bed.
I don't feel like I need it either.
I
'Cause
know.
I have all the people. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
that's true.
Dorian's coming in early. Huge storm outside right now.
Oh, I was like, is that your mom? I thought she had a different.
No, that's the
Oh,
hurricane that's supposed to hit in 2 days, 3 days. But sidetracked. So I'm gonna link the Netflix documentary The Secret in
gosh,
here
you guys have
too.
some good links on this pod.
Yeah. we
Oh, this is like
need some royalties for sure.
I know. Where's all my affiliate links?
So then we got through what, lunch and a workout. Um
I mean, basically, yeah. So then we're almost like kind of back at
where you start
my downtime.
winding down, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I worked all in between, but
Yeah, bouncing around
you
from
didn't
this
want to know
place,
that part. Yeah.
that place. Yeah, we don't want too much.
So
uh,
that's it. I mean, diet mentality,
mhm.
eat real foods, lots of plants, diversity.
Now, what's the one thing that you focus on the most?
I think recently I've been trying to adopt the diversity thing because I feel like I can get
Mm,
into a routine really well
yeah.
after, like eventually, but then things stay the same. And the way that our gut bacteria grows is from a diverse source of
Mm,
plants. So I've been trying to like pick up something random that I maybe don't know what to do with or something. So that's been like my main focus right now.
cool. Um, Now I know gut is like your favorite thing. I was talking last night about there was a because we allowed the kids to come because some people have kids, so we have kids running around at the Wine and Wellness, and one of the moms said, I never really paid attention to the labels until I had a kid. And then I was like, oh, I want to figure out, what's going into my kid's system. And she said, I realized that when I gave him certain things, he would get eczema and it would really break out. And I said, well, yeah, I think the easiest way to kind of go about that. And someone else actually interrupted and was like, oh, every time I drink, milk, I really break out. Like it messes with me a lot. Um, and me and my sister looked at each other because she works at Ulta, and so she understands the
Oh, nice.
everything on the outside. And teaching her from everything from the inside perspective. And we said, all right, well, first you got to drink more water. And secondly, think of it as your skin is your gut turned inside out.
One way to think about it.
Yeah. So is there any way you can kind of allude to that and make that understandable for everybody?
Um, so our skin is obviously like our largest organ. We don't really think of it like that either.
Mm-hmm.
But exactly what you said, like what we do to the gut or what we feed the gut is a directly reflects to the skin because there is that bi-directional communication between the skin and the dermis and the gut, which is cool. So we always talk about like the gut brain connection is really big right now,
Yeah.
but there is also a gut skin bi-directional pathway. So you can really almost instantly, like you were saying with those examples, see a reaction if there is an imbalance in the gut with skin.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see that from those inflammatory foods by nature, like dairy, gluten, and
Those
soy.
oils.
What was it? The oils.
The
Yes.
oils. So I pointed out as well. I said on Saturday last weekend I went down to Miami and I ended up having some tequila and I had some food from a food truck. Now I got a brown rice bowl that had bean sprouts and vegetables and an egg on top, but it's in a food truck cooked on the same thing that a bunch of other things are cooked on, and most likely cooked with a vegetable or palm or sunflower oil. And I could taste it. As soon as I took a bite, I was like, I know this is not good oil. I know it. And
Yeah, but
Monday,
honestly, like gone rancid. When you can taste it, like
hmm
it's already broken. So
and Monday morning, I woke up and started to have
yeah,
some, and I
now,
don't break out, but I could see a difference in my skin,
yep,
within 24 to 36 hours.
that's wild.
And I think it's just big for people to understand that they're in control of that.
Mhm.
So they don't feel like life's happening to them, life's happening for them. Like, okay, that happened to me. Now I can
Yeah,
look back. What did I do to cause that? Okay, I won't do that anymore.
exactly. Yeah. So when I always tell people is the first step in like healing the gut or healing like a symptom,
Mm-hmm.
is to remove like the irritants. So you'd have to know those are, which would be like gluten, dairy, bad oils, things like that. And then just be aware of your exposure to them. So I never like to tell people or like pretend as if we're never going to run into these things.
Yeah.
But if you're going to look at your entire day, I was just talking with a patient about this and I was like, okay, let's look at how many times and when you change the words that you were exposed to that inflammation. And then they wonder why, before that they were wondering why they felt like XYZ or they were having this symptom. And I said, okay, let's count, like if we think of it as an exposure to something,
Mm-hmm.
because it is an irritant. So we would use it as if we were, exposed to something physically every day. We just don't give it that level of importance or like visual, I
Yeah.
think. So if you were to trace somebody's day back and not like the person that's overly trying to be healthy right now. So just the average, the standard American diet, right?
Yeah.
Every single meal, there's multiple of the inflammatory foods. So if you're going to count exposures every day, it's going to be, 10, 15, 16 times a day. So then be working with people to not only identify them, but then give them other options, how to pull them back. So it's not so much, it's going from 16 to 9 to 6 to 3 to nothing,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like cut out everything, and like there's
Don't
like,
eat anything.
yeah. So
Um, I
limited
think
exposure.
limited exposure. I think a good way to think of that in an analogy perspective is if somebody gets poison ivy, they trace their steps back. Okay, over the last weekend, how many times was I in a bush or how many times was I walking past what could have been poison ivy? That doesn't seem ludicrous to anybody. But if you say, okay, well, I had a breakout. Now, how many times was I exposed to this? Or I had stomach ache or I had the runs. How
Yep.
many times was I exposed to this?
Nice.
People are looking at it like, what do you mean? Like, how am I supposed to know? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I think like you said, a good way to talk about it is just like changing the language and the exposure.
Because you
The
never want
other thing I want to point out, sorry, one more thing.
to go.
You said the standard American diet. Guys, if you write that out and take the first three letters, it spells sad. It's
It's
not that hard to kind of see where that's going. So just be aware of that.
low fiber, high sugar, high refined carbs, standard American diet.
Yeah, and low quality protein.
If any.
Yeah, yeah. I had one more question. I'm drawing a big blank. Okay. So really quickly, I want to get your opinion. We talked a little bit about keto and intermittent fasting. Opinion on veganism, opinion on vegetarian diet. Quickly.
I know.
Don't
Okay.
don't jump into
Go
too
on a
much detail
tangent. I'm
because
like, all right,
we could go into this
no,
forever.
I can't. I can sum it up, so easy because I have my line that I've
Okay.
coined, right?
Yes.
I can look at people when they ask me the same thing. So they're sitting across from me like, should I be doing keto? Should I be a vegan? Should I be not eating meat? Blah, blah, blah. The diet that is right for you does not have a name. And that's what I'm going to die by, that line. Because, we really can't say that one thing is better than the other because we're failing to look at the person who's presenting themselves in that moment to us. Not the person that they want to be, not the person that they were 5 years ago. I love that. I'll ask the person, like, what's like a normal weight for you? Oh, in high school, I was like 115. I'm like, okay, like over the past year. Like, also like this person presenting with the eczema, with the brain fog, with the IBS, what diet is going to suit them in that moment? So I don't think we can label it, and we try so bad because it's fun, right? And it's sexy to be on keto, and I'm sorry, keto, to pick on you. It's just because there are benefits to keto and there are benefits to all things, but I think we do ourselves a disservice of putting ourselves, like, even like as your own self, like you are so much more than the box that a diet is about to put you in. So like do what mentally is going to be okay for you. If you, the animal rights side of veganism, go, like, that's what mentally you want to do.
Know what you have to supplement.
I was just going to say, so if we have to talk about vegans, like obviously they need to have a higher commitment to supplementation because they're going to be lacking B12, iron. So that's another piece where I feel they're missing the mark there because they're not as committed to that. And then we have health problems. So with anything, same with fasting. I find people are now starving because they've cut out 16 hours and they didn't eat their needs in the 8. So now you're starving. So it's like, if you're going to do something, we're going to do it right. And you're going to work with a trained professional to help you through it. But we're also maybe not even going to jump on the Instagram trend of diet and really like look at your own lab work and what you're willing to do, your symptoms, and then building something from that.
Now, I know you do a little bit of work with GeneSnip, right? And so how do you kind of tie that piece into it with what they may be dealing at that point?
Yeah. So, but if that's my stance, right? So every person that comes to me, they probably know they're not going to get this if they come to me. But when you think of going to a dietitian, maybe you think that you're going to get a meal plan and like a menu and things like that. So I think off the bat, they know that I am like inside of their life, like my intake form is very long. They ask me, why do you ask me these certain questions? And I'm like, it all paints this picture and I need to look at the entire picture, right? And genetic testing lets me look so much deeper. And now I know if you're prone to storing fat due to carbohydrates, due to fats, like it's the best tool that we can use as practitioners to like take away the guesswork, because I'm like, oh, I can assume you have eczema because of, but now I can just look at your genes and it's going to tell me, like, it's the cheat sheet for us. So
Yeah.
I love it. And again, like, it ties right into what I do, because that's my message is personalized nutrition, right? Like, there's not a one size fits all. So let me look inside even deeper, which is so much fun for me.
Yeah.
And then build something from that. So
I totally agree. Are you big also on the kind of eat ancestrally what you're predisposed to, or kind of like
yeah,
the similar diet to what your ancestors were eating?
yeah. Again, I think it's a fun visual that we've made in that
Yeah, of course.
diet.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it? What's the underlying tone of it? Eat more plants, eat whole foods. I'm fine. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, with all diets, like, there is an underlying tone of cut the crap,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, keto, you can't have ice cream. Like, like, so no one's inherently wrong. We all want to say the same thing because the premise is there. So ancestral, I mean, the premise is the same.
Yeah, of course.
I got to take all the titles off. So
Yeah, and I try to preach and talk about having fitness and nutrition and economical freedom. Like, when you have that knowledge, you have the freedom to not be put into this box of, well, no, I'm doing intermittent fasting and I have to eat 16 and 8, and I have to eat this and this at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I have to have my black coffee before I eat my first meal, and all of a sudden you become a robot and you don't have freedom and you don't have the ability to say, well, I'm in this out of ordinary situation and I don't know how to make the most educated decision because I only know what I was told to do and what this box has confined me as, what this label across my forehead is telling everybody I should be doing.
Well, think of the words too, and I'm always talking about this with my patients. Like, they literally can't say it. I'll stop them because they're like, "Oh, I fell off," right? Or I'll get back on. And
Yeah.
those words make me want to cringe because I can't live. I did it for so long, and I cannot either be on something, because does that automatically mean if I'm not on it, I'm off?
Yeah.
And then what comes with the mental battle of being off, right? Because now they've beat themselves up. They can't get back on. So
Yeah.
it's such a mental thing, the words, the language that we use.
And
So
that goes back to the binary system of our brains, right? And the mindset of like everything's black and white. And it's like, no, we live on a gray scale and life happens in the gray scale. But we lose sight of that, and that happens a lot with labels, and that's happened as a result of just evolutionarily becoming so complex that we need to try to simplify things and put them in order. And I think making people more aware of that mentality thing as well is like, it's not wrong to think like that. It's actually natural, but when you zoom out even more, when you paint that picture even larger, you can really see why that's happening. But I have one more question for you, but I want to just have you tell everybody where they can kind of find you and where to look for all of the crazy stuff
I
going
know,
on.
right? Try to keep up. No, I try to keep it fun, right? I don't know.
No, you.
No, I'm
You're
trying
doing
to
a good job of that.
work the Instagrams. I feel like it's the easiest, funnest. So Amanda Rigby RD is my handle. It looks like Rigbird. That's what we call it.
Rigby.
So that's all I see now. I don't even see it how I intended it to be.
You don't even see your actual name. You
No,
just.
Heal Thyself Nutrition is my business name. So that's Facebook, the website, healthyselfnutrition.com.
Yeah, and I'll link all of that stuff there.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where I hang out.
And then, are you getting into YouTube soon?
I've been on and off YouTube. I was like an OG.
Hey, we're not on or off, all right? We're not.
Oh my gosh, you got it. You know, because I feel guilty that I'm off right now.
Exactly.
So, you know, I have a healthy relationship
With
with
you
you.
too.
Honestly, my assistant is up my butt about it. Hi, Sarah. Um, she, yeah. The problem is I don't want to wash my hair because it's healthy not to.
Fixed dry shampoo.
I use it every day. Too much. I overuse it. So I use it for like 6 days. So
That's not a bad problem to have. At
I
least
know.
you're getting paid to use
I
it.
have like 20 bottles. I know. I get paid so many ways. I can't. It's
I was actually just talking to my client last night at the gym because I was like, I got a couple bottles of dry shampoo and like, yeah, I may need it, but like realistically, I don't.
Was it a
I was
girl?
like, I don't know what to do with it, and she was like, oh, I use it for my shoes. I spray dry shampoo in my shoes, and it's almost like a an osium. And I was like, huh.
I guess it's a shampoo. Duh.
Yeah, like smells good,
Oh,
so it
smart
makes
girl.
sense.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Now I'm used for my 20 bottles I have.
yeah.
I mean, I use it. Trust me. This is it.
No, I believe it. I believe it. So
But yes, coming
YouTube
soon.
coming soon or in the
I'm on
works?
there. You can
Yeah,
find me.
yeah. You're in. You're on.
I'm I'm
You're
in
doing YouTube.
I'm in YouTube. Yep. I have a lot of videos. I do. They're
Okay.
good. I mean, if you don't know me, you can definitely learn a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna link your power profile in there too.
Oh God. That
Oh
was a silly
yeah,
one.
that's a silly one. That's a good one though.
I gotta
All right. So my last question is the top three things that people can do tomorrow to improve their health.
check out my blog post on that exact topic. No, I'm just kidding. I do it. 3 things you can do tomorrow. Change your life. Um, what are those 3 things in that article? No, I think they're probably the same. The first one is definitely gratitude. I know you want me to give you like kale or something,
No.
but that really does kind of like set the tone for the day.
That's what they want to. That's what they want to.
Yeah.
That's
Guys,
not the
kale if you want. I mean, I have a hard time with it. I put it in my
answer.
otherwise it's kind of
I
um
love it, but
good. I gotta blend it. No, really, waking up every morning. I forgot that part of my morning. Here's my morning routine. We have a gratitude journal on our counter that we have to fill out before we take our vitamins. And I mean, can you like start your day off in a bad mood if you're forced to think about 3 things that you're grateful for? I remember seeing a quote once, and it was like, if you only woke up with the things that you were grateful for yesterday, like that you said you were grateful for, what would you have today? And when I read that, I was like, oh shit, I have nothing. like I wasn't practicing it. And again, that's just a mindset shift of being grateful and, like putting your feet on the ground and just starting there. Food wise, no. Make sure that we eat enough. I think a lot of people undereat. Protein and fiber each time that you eat something.
Okay.
It helps with all the disease processes. So
Yeah.
And then what's the actual question? 3 things I should start doing tomorrow?
Three things everyone can kind of apply tomorrow.
Okay. People could eat protein and fiber tomorrow. People can be grateful tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have so many things that I just can't think of anything. I want to say like move, obviously. Feels too easy. I want to give them something like harder to do tomorrow. I want you to walk, park further away, move a little bit, pick up something heavy. I don't know, maybe practice the unwinding thing because I really think that sleep is so crucial. So maybe try to set the tone in either your bedroom or just the house in general. Like this is really bad for me to have like this big bright light on right now. Like really dim. So I don't know, just be more mindful of sleep hygiene. It's called.
Okay. Sleep hygiene.
Sleep hygiene.
Can we specify that to like maybe even phone off 30 minutes
Let's
or off your phone 30 minutes before you go to bed.
do that. Don't
And
break it
try to push that, right?
Yeah.
Like
Get an
30
alarm clock.
minutes.
They're
Yeah.
$2 now at Walmart.
Hey, look, I got one right here. I bought it 2 weeks ago.
That's awesome.
Little thing. It
Right?
even folds up. It can just travel with me.
That's awesome.
And eventually my goal is to put it away from my
Across
bed.
the room. Yes.
So I have to get up.
Get up. Yep.
It's all about just slow and steady
Little things.
increments,
Little things. They make a big difference.
little tweaks.
Little
The journey doesn't stop, right?
never.
Well, thank you for disrupting your wind down time for this. I'm sure everyone will appreciate it.
Thanks.
There's so much good stuff in here. It's gonna be so hard to like.
Good. Whatever with the links. You lucky.
Yes, yes. There's gonna be a lot of links on here. Make sure everyone checks them out. And it's gonna take a while to put all this together because there's so many good things and so many things I want to read back on. But it's gonna be so worth it. Long story short, thank you. I really appreciate it. Taking the time. Um, I don't know. Next time I'll see you, maybe Miami.
I'll be in New York. Dr. Z in a couple weeks.
Yeah, product symposium, right?
We have NEI.
Oh, okay.
And then product symposium a couple weeks later. Yep.
Nutrimetrics.
Education Institute.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah. For some CEUs.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gotta get on those. For sure. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing you in Miami then. That'll come quicker than
I know.
you
It's
can even
already
think
October.
of. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon. What'd you say?
Go wind down.
Yeah. You too. Everybody else, have a good night.
Bye. Thanks.
Please, y'all, if you were able to take anything from today's podcast, please share it with your friends, family, and anybody looking to live that free and limitless lifestyle. Or you could even write a review or leave a comment down below for us. It'll be greatly appreciated. Also, the LT360 podcast is partnered with lots of awesome companies, and we do not partner lightly. These brands are all well approved from a moral, ethical, and product standpoint. So please feel free to do your research, but I do not think you'll be disappointed in what you find. The first partner today is the Limitless Theory apparel store. We are running a sale for all of October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we are hosting a sale for 10% off. You use the code BCAM, that's all capitalized BCAM, obviously standing for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You get 10% off. Put that in at the checkout. All proceeds and profits are going to get donated to a breast cancer awareness foundation or organization. So please support everybody and anybody who is going through that or has had family members that have. Thank you. All right, y'all. We also have some other crazy deals and opportunities here with this podcast. The first of which is going to be downloading the free copy of Gut Loving Foods that Amanda has so kindly put on her website, healthyselfnutrition.com. It is Amanda's list of her favorite and most effective gut loving foods to help you jumpstart your journey to a healthy life. And even if you are already consciously living a healthy life, I guarantee you there's stuff in there that you don't know. And it's free. So head over to healthyselfnutrition.com and download your free copy of Gut Loving Foods today. Have you ever wondered, what's my genetic risk? What about my kids? What did my parents pass down to me? Or what am I experiencing right now that my parents may or may not already have experienced. Did you know that unraveling your genetic expression can basically unveil and pinpoint your unique gene variations and how they affect your body? That's why Amanda and I have partnered up with the GeneSNP DNA analysis with Nutrimetrics. We're going to help you identify both risk and protective variations based on your genetic expressions and offer insight into optimal recommendations for diet, lifestyle, exercise, and supplementation. The best part is there's a sale going on now through the end of the year. So if you're interested at all, please reach out to Amanda or I, and you can finally answer all of those questions and stop wondering. But if you were wondering, well, where does Amanda buy her food? I'm glad you asked. She is a huge fan of brandless.com, a shop.com partner store where you can earn 2% cash back on all of your groceries, necessities, even the things you wipe your butt with and clean the counter with. Does 2% not sound good enough? All right. Here it is. Here's the double dip scoop, okay? You can go to groupon.com right now, another partner store, where you earn 3% cash back as a shop.com preferred customer, and I believe 5% or 6% IBV as a UFO. And you go to groupon.com, you can buy a $40 brandless.com gift card for just $20. That's half off, so you save $20 and you get 3% cash back or 6% IBV depending on whether you're a customer or a business owner. Then you take that $40 brandless.com gift card and you head over to brandless.com and you fill up your cart with whatever you please, whatever your heart desires. And when you check out, you are going to apply that $40 and whatever else you may want. The best part is you're going to get an additional 2% cash back on whatever you spend there. So you are going to end up saving $20 on the gift card and earning 5% cash back on both of the orders that you made, one for the gift card and one using the gift card to buy actual products. It's called double dipping. Yeah, that's right. We do it quite often, usually with veggies and hummus, not chips and salsa, but that is all good. Like I said, go check out Gut Loving Foods on healthyselfnutrition.com. You can find the link below. If you want GeneSNP and genetic testing, please reach out to us. We have a far, far, far superior genetic test that will give you very good insight and optimal recommendations in return that are overseen and looked at by Amanda or I. And lastly, go to groupon.com, get yourself a brandless.com gift card, and head to brandless.com and check it out. Lots of cool things. Everything is $3 to $6 on brandless.com, and you will not be disappointed. Please go support. Much love. Peace. Once again, this podcast is a reality for me, the guests, and yourself, the listener, because of these established partnerships. So please continue to support these awesome brands and people. Remember, we are, life is limitless. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.